Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Cap Recovery Center. This is our men in training meeting for the day. And this article is by PinelandsRecovery.com. So if you like this article, you can go to PinelandsRecovery.com. The article I have here is Men Adopting a New Mindset for Recovery. So we'll hop into it. Recovery involves questioning our identity, letting go of any false aspects of ourselves, as ultimately accepting an addiction. Men can often struggle to recognize and express emotions. Relying on anger and indifference, recovery requires developing both external and internal connections with ourselves. Society's expectations of masculinity can hinder recovery, so we must evaluate and choose what aligns with our true selves. It is important to challenge societal rules and embrace authentic growth for successful recovery. In the process of recovery, we will spiral through the question, who am I? Many times, each time we grow closer to knowing who we really are, and we are the opportunity to have let go of who we are not. Breaking through the denial about addiction is difficult for anyone. What may seem hardest is accepting there is something you cannot figure out of our control. The acknowledgement that you are an addict is being the beginning of your opportunity to look at every aspect of what it means to be a man in our culture and to determine what you want to accept and what you want to reject. Ultimately, you get to choose who you want to be as a man and even who you want to be as a man in recovery. Part of exploring oneself is recognizing what one feels. Men who have problems with alcohol and other drugs often do not know what they are feeling and have limited vocabularies for describing their feelings. Feelings are not manly. Anger, indifference, and sarcasm often become a catch of all the variety of feelings a man has. Yet these can damage a man's relationship as well as his physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. So I've learned in recovery, like I heard a lot of people share about like how they're brought up, like men don't cry, we don't express our emotions and feelings, we keep that to ourselves, we man up, so to speak, and that stuff can kill you. You know, if we don't express ourselves in a healthy way. Um, and so to speak, man up, we can be on a path of destruction. And so for me, just my opinion, everything stems from like growing up as a kid, right? So if I didn't have the guidance, right, from my mother and my father and, or father figures, if I don't have people that can show me and teach me things, um, you know, I'm on a bad road, you know. And if you're brought up, men don't cry, we don't express our emotions and feelings. You know, a lot of us can be brought up that way. You know, so we become product of our environment. You know, and what we're taught as kids. You know, like my father wasn't in my life, but my mom was, and she did what she could. You know, basically, I strayed away from her and like ran the streets, and so I was seeking guidance in negative things, the streets, the kids, and the guys that were doing negative and bad things, using drugs and alcohol. So like, I went that route, and it led me of years in addiction. So in recovery, I'll find out who truly I am, who I want to become and who I'm not. Because we lose ourselves through the years of active addiction, and we really don't knew who we are. I didn't know who I was until I came into recovery and started doing some work, and really truly finding out who I am, finding out my triggers, my thought process. Why do I act out of anger, frustration, and out of resentment? So I find out who I am and find out what like sets me off. So like you get to learn about yourself in recovery, which is a beautiful thing. And it says, who am I? Most of us have been taught to think of ourselves in terms of our roles as providers, fathers, husbands, relationship partners, employees, teammates, and so on. There is nothing wrong with this. In fact, our connection with others will tell us much about who we are. However, our roles do not tell the whole story about who we are. In recovery, it is important to develop our relationships with others, our outer selves, and our relationship with our inner selves, our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and values. We often are uncomfortable focusing on our relationships to our inner selves. We may have been brought up to consider these things to be unmasculine. We ignore how we feel and how other people in our lives feel. We focus on sports, work, or positions and tend to define ourselves according to our success in these areas. Yeah, so we try to find out who am I, and we have to find that out for ourselves. Recovery does teach us more about ourselves. My sponsor tells me like getting to the root of what's going on, and like I said earlier, and I touched on like how we're raised, is a big, big thing. Um, so let's see here. It says we ignore how we feel and how other people in our lives feel. We focus on sports, work, or a position, so we're more focused on what we're doing in life, but not focusing on how we're feeling, or we can't express how we're feeling, our emotions, our values, or belief. We look at it as men work, they provide, and so it's like basically like an illusion, you know, living in that kind of illusion of like what a man is and what a man is not, and that can cause some harm, that can cause some pain, you know. I didn't know how to express myself until I got into recovery, and like it's hard, you know what I mean? It really is hard to open up and like break down the barrier of uh, being a man, or so to speak. Um, but like I always did express myself, but like it was in on healthy ways. I didn't know how to express myself in healthy ways, like healthy communication, have healthy coping skills, things like that. Or always putting people at arm's length, having trust issues, stuff like that. We have to figure out um, why are we acting that way. What's the root of what's going on with us? It says here, how do I want others to see me? When there is a difference between how we want others to see us and how we see ourselves, we dedicate energy toward creating fronts and avoiding being genuine. With most of it all, of the people in our lives, we forget how to be real, especially if we feel shame about some part of who we are. We usually try to hide it. And our inside and outside selves become disconnected. Yeah. So talking about putting on a front, a facade, um, not expressing like who we truly are. So we get afraid. Like if we express ourselves, our genuine self, maybe we fear of rejection or how people look at us. Um, and I've learned too that like, I mean, I do, but I really don't care how people perceive me. Like, long as I know who I am and the way I'm acting in life today in recovery, like, because people want to have judgment. How do people in others see me? I know I'm trustworthy, I'm accountable, I'm reliable. Like I'm a productive member of society. So if I know these things about myself, I don't have to put on a front or a facade for anybody else. The ego, the pride, the masculinity, like I'm a man, or like acting like the tough guy. And I learned that, that can um, push you out back in addiction. trying to do it yourself, not asking for help. He's putting on this facade it talks about, and we all need help. It doesn't matter if you're man, woman, people in life in general need help, need support, and it just, I always say it's how you're raised and what you're learning as a kid and how you're growing up, your childhood, all that stuff. It's very crucial to be in your kids' lives and like teach them from right from wrong. And don't. I was misguided because I was seeking my information from misinformed people. So when you get misinformed, they get misinformed also. So you have to pick and choose and watch who you hang around with, or where you're getting your information from. It says, what does it mean to be a man? We may not have spent a lot of time thinking about our beliefs regarding what it means to be a man. For some of us, life up to this point has not involved any serious reflection about who we are as men. If being sober is a priority, we will benefit from looking at how our ideas and society's ideas about masculinity could interfere with our recovery. We learn rules about what it means to be a man from our parents, other family members, teachers, coaches, friends, and so forth. We also learn some of the rules about masculinity from books, movies, and television shows. Some of these rules may be very healthy and productive for us, but some of them may impair our ability to fully realize our potential. And there's some, we seek, it talks about books, movie, television. Like, what does like society about being a man? You know what I mean? Like, it's not always correct. Like they make this illusion of what a man is supposed to be. The tough guy, or we don't express ourselves. We don't talk about our emotions and feelings. Like we're providers, we're hard work, we're workers. Like we don't discuss certain things, and we go through life a certain way. The facade, like it just, yeah, certain of the aspects of things that I'm just talking about make you a good person. It doesn't really truly make you a man. You know what I mean? So I don't know. There's can be controversial some things, but I try to being a man or being a good person, right? Um, I see if you're truly being your authentic self, no matter what that is, right? No matter what that is, you can't put on and that's what I used to do. I used to put on a front. I was a phony. I was a fake, right? I would lie, cheat, and steal. I was being somebody that I was not. I was being somebody that the drugs was making me. Like it's like night and day for me and addiction and recovery. It's like two different people. So what I'm gonna say impresses me, but like who I like to surround myself with and who do I like to interact with and have in my circle and my support network and stuff like that is somebody is genuine, somebody authentic, somebody real, honest, open, and like, and it goes both ways. Like we're here to support each other. So, you know, somebody that's trustworthy, stuff like that really builds somebody's character, you know. So let's go to societal man rules. This is certainly not a comprehensive list, and we could all dig into making our own. But here are traditional examples of so-called man rules. Be strong and independent. Think of who the role models are, such as Rambo, Gladiator, Terminator, Marlboro Man, the Lone Ranger. Okay, that's going way back. Most male role models in the media kick butt and takes names, strong and silent. Next one, be the leader provider, which can also imply don't ask for help. Men take care of the family. We don't ask for help. We do the helping. God forbid we ask for directions. And if we had them, we want to read them anyways. The manly thing to do is just figure it out without help. Well, that's a good one. Like, for example, I didn't ask for help. Only time I asked for help is when I wanted something or I needed something, right? So I was asking help for the all wrong reasons. Nobody. This is my opinion. Nobody can go through life without help. You're going to have a tough time if you try to go through life by yourself and not asking for help. You're going to go through some tough times. Until I opened up and asked for help and actually truly opened up and been honest with another human being, right? Like my life has changed drastically. It made me a better person, a better man, a better productive member of society. So it's definitely you have to ask for help. If you fail, you just are not trying hard enough. It is the American way to sacrifice your body in order to get through that wall. If you want to figure it out, work more hours or hit it with more strength. Muscle up that ego and let's run faster into the brick wall. The wall will fall through sheer willpower. I'm online. I'm online. It's okay? You're online?
You see me?
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, talks about ego, pride. And we like to boost that up. And it really what I've learned is we put on this real big ego, this pride, and this facade of real men don't cry or don't express your emotions and feelings. You gotta work hard if you want things and not asking for help. It's just I don't know. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, But I look at it as like if you truly act who you really are and express yourself, that makes you a decent human being. And this one says, be tough, real men don't cry. You want something to cry about? I'll give you something to cry about. Rub some dirt on it. We were taught early on in life to avoid showing pain. Yeah, we don't want to show emotion. We don't want to show our emotions and feelings. We don't want to express ourselves, and that, can drive us into addiction. It says, don't show emotions. Well, don't show emotions. Certainly don't show emotions that convey weakness and being like a girl. Bite the bottom lip, push that feelings down, and be a tough little soldier. Yeah. So it says here, another thing, weakness. That's what another thing as men can fear of. Like people look seeing us as weak if we're asked for help. I heard that a lot too in recovery. People express yourself like if you ask for help or you express yourself, it's a sign of weakness, which is not true. That's just false information. Says be loyal, committed, and dependable. So let's not throw the baby out with the bath where many of our men rules can be maintained and carried forward as a successful piece of our recovery. Perhaps we take and keep these. We probably have recognized that some of the traditional values and ideas about being a man are consistent with being in recovery, and some of them can hinder or complicate our recovery. We may realize that in order to be in recovery, we are being asked to do some things that conflict with our own ideas about what it means to be manly. So, and there's like principles of recovery also that we apply in our life, and some of them that we value, and we have our own beliefs and our morals and our own opinions, and sometimes we adapt to others beliefs and values and stuff like that to look like we're a man, or we can stand on our own. which we don't really we compromise. That's what we compromise our beliefs and our values and our morals to act, being a phony, to like put this facade on, to put on a front. And I tried to do things on my own and put it on a front for the longest, and it got me a lot of pain and suffering, you know. Um, so I'm gonna end it there for our meeting, our men in training meeting for the day. Um, it was a pretty good article. So it was a men in training meeting. It says men adopting a new mindset for recovery, and we have to break that illusion of what a man is, right? We have to adapt a new mindset in our recovery to like open up and change and like have a better perspective in life. Because we can't think the same way. We have to break that illusion. My name is Carl, I'm a recovery coach at Cap Recovery Center. Until next time, we'll see you later.